It's always the same time, before the beer months, and same place, EDSA, every year. Another new MMDA manager, another draconian restriction on private car commuting, another botched enforcement, another uproar and another backtrack. Despite the constitutional guarantee of freedom of mobility and the argument of Dodo Ayuyao, the PMA, predecessor of the AAP, back in the 70s, the courts ruled then that the government through the MMC, the predecessor of the MMDA, could restrict vehicle access to roads in times of national emergency, calamity, war or if public safety required. The latest iteration of this is the blanket high-occupancy vehicle (HOV), only access on all EDSA lanes without any clear guidelines to deal with extra-strength full windshield tint, crucial to positive ID if there are 2 occupants or more. With all the ink and force that this contentious issue will expend, not to mention all the attendant rants, ridicule and anxiety, we would like to propose a final solution combining all traffic-reducing measures, both tried and untried. It includes congestion charging. Singapore's and London's are inspirations, HOV priority and not even with the bonus of the return of the window. Coverage of controlled access routes, car, EDSA first, but the rest to follow. Roxas Boulevard, España Quezon Avenue, Commonwealth, Shaw Boulevard, Ortigas Avenue, E. Rodriguez Aurora Boulevard, Marcos Highway, Gov. Forbes de Masalang A, Bonifacio, GR and C3, Quirino Avenue, Nagdahan, Bundia. All other streets not listed or no longer covered by the existing coding UVRRP regulation. The MMDA and LGUs will determine the final list of these crucial thoroughfares, with the end view of concentrating traffic enforcement elements where they count. Exempted junctions, all intersections that do not have pass-through traffic crossings but utilize U-turns on the main road, EDSA examples of which are Roosevelt Congressional, North and West Avenue, and Connecticut to White Plains Avenue. Exempted expressways, all expressways, NIX, SLEX, Skyway, NILEX Connector, Harbor Lincoln Mindanao Avenue, Cavitex, C5 Cavitex Link, C6 Metro Manila Expressway, including their access roads and on-off ramps, for example, Badilla Rosa Street exit of Skyway Stage 1. Exempted zones, select park and ride buildings adjacent to intermodal transport stations and terminals where private cars can park for commuter transfers to trains, jeepneys, buses or walkways. Example, MRT 7 LRT 1 MRT 3 Joint Station, EDSA Shaw Parking Buildings, Mega Mall, Star Mall, EDSA Shangri-La Mall, EDSA Central, EDSA Ayala CBD to the 6,750 and Glorieta Parking Buildings, and EDSA Cubao, EDSA Trinoma, EDSA Eden Centris. Access to airports, existing NAIA coding exempt roads, and accredited intermodal transport stations and terminals like South Terminal by Unawide, the upcoming Southwest Terminal by Arco South, North Terminal by Trinoma or the one in Valenzuela City, Nilex Mason exit and the East Terminal, wherever it will be built. Exempted vehicles, PUJs, PUVs, pubs, provincial and city, marked police cars, marked fire services vehicles, marked ambulances on call, diplomatic and consular corps vehicles, but not the tax-exempt 5-digit blue number-plated ones, BJMP, marked UV Express, marked TNVS, marked taxis, and airport taxis, school buses, hotel limousines, tourist buses and hire cars, food lane and fuel tanker trucks, and all HOV, 2 or more occupants, provided positive ID is certain, whether by enforcer at the established checkpoints or CCTV. Vehicles with bona fide 2 occupants or more, with no front windshield tint or tint that conforms to the proposed LTO regulations, not exceeding the minimum of 35% UV penetration, will be waved through. Enforcers will be instructed on a rule of thumb: if he/she cannot identify that the second occupant of the vehicle is a real homo sapien, he/she can pull over said vehicle to verify the passenger count. Exempted drivers, senior citizens and PWDs with valid bona fide IDs. Duration, 7:30 a.m., 7 o'clock to 7:30 grace period to 10 a.m. and 4:30 p.m., 4 o'clock to 4:30 grace period to 8 p.m. Application: odd even follows calendar day to avoid the day count imbalance of MWFT's scheduling. On odd number date, odd number plates will be okay to use the controlled access routes. Even number calendar dates, even number plate okay to use car. For a banned vehicle to pass through, it must conform to the above exemptions or possess an active and validated A-Pass or Access Pass vehicle transponder. As in UVRRP, Saturdays, Sundays and holidays are exempt from car coverage. Metro-wide uniform regulation, the IACT should enjoin all municipalities and cities to align their UVRRP ordinances to the above to avoid confusing motorists. Municipalities and cities without UVRRP need not adopt the car restriction. For those who really need to drive through the car on forbidden days, they can avail of the A-Pass, a battery-powered DSRC transponder like the EDSA or the Thales or CAPTCHA transponders of the Deluxe. It will be attached to the windshield within the zone allowed for dash cams. Unlike the E-Pass, the A-Pass will emit a unique white or green FLTO-compliant active pattern light that is clearly visible to enforcers, much like today's DRL on cars. A lit A-Pass indicates that the congestion charge or access charge for the day is fully paid, one price for all-day access to all car, and valid up to midnight. A pass will be available at gas stations, convenience stores, car repair shops, supermarkets and banks. Load, and A-Pass can be linked to electronic systems such as Gcash, credit cards, debit cards, paid centers, beep card load centers, etc. A-Pass transponders will remain the property of the electronic toll collection company, so a P1000 deposit will be required. This also ensures that when there are hardware or software upgrades or when the batteries need recharging, the A-Pass holder will transact only with authorized A-Pass agents. The A-Pass will come with 2 windshield mounting kits, similar to the Thales EC-Tag, CAPTCHA EZ-Trip or Premedy Pass. The mounting kits will allow transferability for multi-car households, shifting the transponder to odd and even-numbered cars depending on the day. Additional mounting kits will be available at extra charge. A-Pass pricing per day to access any car will be P100, valid until midnight regardless of the time of purchase. P100 is envisaged to be one-half the coding violation fee of P200. Besides the daily load of P100, there will be a 7-day, consecutive load of P350, a 15-day load of P700 and a 30-day load of P1400. Take note that the 7, 15 and 30-day loads cover holidays, Saturdays and Sundays, and also days declared as car exempt like during times of storms and floods. Multi-day loads will be advantageous for multi-car households. A 7-day load allows mobility all the 5 days of the work week, bringing down the cost per day from P100.00 to P70 per day. A-Pass loads bought at gas stations or paid centers will be immediately credited, while loads via electronic banking will depend on the bank's transaction systems. A-Pass readers for validation purposes will be located initially at the MMDA's existing gantries. All lanes will have A-Pass readers that will check if the lit transponder has a valid load. They will be adjusted to read A-Pass transponders from 0 km/h up to a pass-through speed of 60 km/h, so there will be no need for barriers. The readers will be equipped with vehicle ID cameras, which will take a video of vehicles using invalidated transponders or even fake transponders emitting the active pattern white or green LED validating lights. Depending on the speed and sophistication of software and hardware, the gantry readers can easily adopt a variable pricing, according to traffic demand like the ERP of Singapore, if the authorities decide to require the etc. company to ramp up collection methods. If this idea finds favor with the metro mayors, the MMDA and the commuting public, any IT or etc. company with experience in toll collection can have this system up and running in 6 months' time, inclusive of software development and hardware design. Side by side with the implementation of the car, the MMDA must require that traffic aides, policemen and personnel assigned traffic management duty should have daily overlapping 5 or 6 hour shifts from 6 a.m. up to 2 a.m. of the succeeding day to prevent fatigue. At any one time, street duty on our polluted streets should not exceed 2 hours without a break. The MMDA should also ensure a full complement of traffic management troops, especially during the window hours, as traffic will be at its worst, experiencing volumes typical before the window was withdrawn in September 2016. Remember, traffic enforcers are not only there to arrest violators of the odd-even ban but to ensure that traffic moves during the window hours. Tito F. Hermoso is Auto Industria's Inside Man's End. Comments to tfhermoso@yahoo.com.